it's exposed again by the 14. And so that's the limbo time. It's never as they appear it to be, but they use this limbo time just to frustrate you. So you might be waiting on something important, waiting on them to go to wherever, and they never show up, and they never call you, and you figure something bad must have happened. But when you call them, they're like, oh, is that today? And some people won't even show up the same day. They show up a week later. Oh, I'm here for this. I was like, yo, that's a week ago. Why are you showing up now? Oh, well, maybe we can do it now. I was like, nah. I made a schedule an appointment for you to do that at that time. Or you may go to a doctor and he says, oh, we're going to set you up for a 2 o'clock appointment on Tuesday. Now, without any apology, you show up right into Tuesday for the appointment, and it was like, oh, you know what, it's been canceled, but they never called you to cancel. But they did call you to confirm you'd be at the appointment. So you go into the appointment, you're ready to go, and it was like, no, it's canceled because there were too many clients that the doctor had scheduled. So too many, patients. So you're like, well, why didn't you tell me this was a possibility over the phone? Because you're taking time out of your hectic schedule in order to do this. But so in order for that little bit of time to achieve that objective, they'll say, oh, no, and for real ignorant reasons, like they won't even tell you, first of all, that that's a possibility. And they'll be like, oh, we'll have to schedule you another day. So you'll be like, fine, I'll come in another day. Come in next week, fine. So you come in next week and they cancel it again. And then some people could do that for 8 meetings or 8 doctor's visits. Most likely they're not going to charge you, but you don't know. It depends if you're in a charity case or whatever. They might start charging you anyway, and you may never find out. And they're just, using you as some sort of Medicare fraud or whatever. But in any case, they're using this, and meanwhile, you're getting angry and frustrated, but you will know that that's the game they're playing. But you can also use that to keep track and possibly have a good lawsuit against them if, you so choose, or just simply go to another doctor, because I'm not trying to disrespect the medical field, because I've seen a lot of good doctors. I was in the medical field myself, so there's good people out there, but then there's these organizations that are all screwed up, and you will know when you come to it, but you will know the procedure that when it comes up, before it happens, you'll be like, oh, well, this is how y'all guys rolling, and this is what's going on, and you don't have to get angry. You just fulfill your objective somewhere else, or do it yourself, or there's a whole variety of possibilities in solution mode, which is later explained through the process of this learning experience. So these people can use all these different beliefs to justify their actions, and which will guide them into a negative fulfilling prophecy of their objectives. So which then they manifest itself into a positive or negative actions by their motive and their beliefs, the source. So an example would be like someone who has a belief system that says, you know what, don't ask for permission for nothing to borrow anything from anybody, or technically they're stealing, but they, according to their belief system, they say it's better to take something now and ask for forgiveness later, which then leads to a lot of stealing and using other people's stuff without permission and without regard for the owner, which is very annoying. So then now you look like a thief or a inconsiderate person, because your belief is better to take something without permission than and then ask for permission later, as opposed to asking permission and then using it and then cleaning it. Because some people just use your stuff, and then leave it, or keep it or leave it and not clean it, and so therefore you'd be like, well, I'm going to keep this person away from my stuff, because they're just going to start grabbing stuff. Not, hey, can I see this? Can I pick this up and look at it? No, they just pick it up. Again, if you have a common living area and you accidentally leave something anywhere, that they're just going to use it and dirty it and just leave it dirty like it's theirs without even asking, because again, their beliefs is don't ask permission for nothing and just use whatever you want or do whatever you want and ask for forgiveness later when they're pissed off. So this procedure is a constant you getting pissed off. Now, if you did that to them, you'd be dead wrong. Or they hide their stuff where you can't do it to them. That's the to the level of hypocrisy that they take it. So not only do they try to hurt you, they try to make it so you can't do it back to them. But of course, in reverse, some people try to make it look like you're bad when you're good. So they try to make what you said or did was wrong when it wasn't wrong, but they try to make it look like it was wrong. But again, they would have to change things in order to make it look like it's wrong. So they would create a situation to be like, you did this wrong, and you see, when I did that, I was messed up. Now you did it, but you didn't do it. They made it look like you did it, but there was a number of steps that they had done to deliberately make it look like you're bad when it was their deception to move things around to make it look like you're a hypocrite when you are no hypocrite. They had to move things around and lie about it in order to try to make it look like you're a hypocrite. Now, most people won't know how this game is played because they're ignorant as to how all this works. So then they end up falling into that deception. Or even another lie would be like, all men and women are the same. All men and women are not the same. We have different gifts, we have different heights, we have different colors, we have different desires, and all women want is money, and some women will be like, all men are the same, all they want is sex. Until they come across the man and be like, yo, I don't want your ass, I don't want I don't want to get down with you, but I'm willing to help you out. So now the man that only wanted sex, all men wanted sex. Now your bubble gets bursted because you was living on a deceptive platform, as opposed to reality where be like, no, some men are a person of the word. Some women want you as an individual and loves you for who you are and doesn't want your money, can care less about your money. And some men, it's not about sex, but it's about also concerned about how are you feeling today, what can they do to help alleviate you, because after all, it's a support group. But when you have no support but only division between a man and a woman, and between what needs to be saved or what not to be saved, and so you have this contradiction. You're not going to find happiness, because happiness needs to be directed and structured in such a way that both of you are in line going into a same direction. If not, you're going to have yourself finding two people pulling apart in different directions, and then what's only found left, it's greed and anger and resentment towards one another, because of both sides actually have this ignorant understanding or belief system. But once you have the right understanding, before a woman takes her clothes off, you already know the game. You'd be like, she started to take her clothes off thinking you just want to have sex. You'd be like, oh, no. You can put your clothes back on. Because some women just like, the objective is just to have sex and probably draw money from you, or just to feel like to quickly put you into a relationship mode when you don't even know the person. So they can be like, trying to get you to have sex quicker, and or the man might want to do it. He might be just looking to have a woman so he can just have sex with her and just drop her like dirty toilet paper, just so each one have a belief system that works and is understood before you even take your clothes off. But some people try to confuse their beliefs by or get you to go into a goal when you don't even know the individual. Without knowing the belief system. And usually negative people do this because first of all, they don't want you to really know who they are internally, but that's easily exposed once you know the signs. So then you'll start to believe, well, all men only want sex, all women only want the money, and then you start going deeper into this negative rabbit hole, the black rabbit, in which then it'd be like, oh, all Germans are evil, all Jews are stingy, all Polish people are dumb, all Irish people are drunks, all French people stink, all Caucasian men are racist, or all Caucasians are racist, all Muslims are terrorists and pedophiles, and on and on. And so you're dividing and separating, and it's creating more animosity, more hatred, because your belief system is all screwed up, and you're believing all these theories that are nothing more than stories that are made up in order to confuse you and to guide you into the them, because then the them is orchestrated by the few who control the many by the simple logic and structure that all the money and wealth goes to them, because you have no idea what's going on. So negative people describe things as the way they are, not to justify themselves as good and you as bad for their simple exploitation of you and the way things had happened, that do not align with truth but with deception, and through their negative perception and negative conclusions, to blame you as evil, then confuse you, misguide you, which doesn't help you and on a road to becoming better. So you can be going to a church that has all this confusion, so you're not feeling better, and then who knows if they're having orgies in the back of the... I know people that I've taken on a date, and I thought that they were good Christian girls. Come to find out, somebody was hitting it from the back of somebody from the church, and then they had a baby, and then they had to get married after that, because the guy was hitting left and right. But meanwhile, I was being the good boy, which was better in my behalf, because I escaped that, so it was good that I was good. That's not the problem. The problem is that I'm going out with this girl thinking she good, but she perpetrating a fraud, saying, well, she going out with me, and trying to make her look, because we had to have a chaperone from that particular person, because sometimes back in the day, I might have been a freak, and again, it's a learning process. So I would just do whatever, as opposed to not being a good boy. But if you're being a good boy, and you want to learn the person, you want to understand the person, but because again, not all women are the same, not all men are the same. Although you hear that crap spouting out of people's mouth, and this warped sense of perception creates a warped sense of action, which then is, of course, it's a lie, which also has negative effects. And then, you sow and you reap. So that's the end conclusion of this negative structure. So although they try to hide who they truly are, over time, all things are exposed. But because the 14 in the structure, how things work over time, you can be able to differentiate this picture from this picture to that picture. It's like in quantum physics, or like a flip book where you have a picture of somebody standing next to a tree, and then you see him walking. So as the flip book, you see it little by little and structure by structure. You'll see that their structure is lies to what they said they are, as opposed to someone that is true. And you'll see the structure being true from when they said they were next to the tree, they stood next to the tree for an hour. Over the hour of recording, you'll see that over the hour he did indeed tell the truth, as opposed to somebody says, oh, I was next to the tree, but when you look through the film, you'll see they were not next to the tree. So they were lying in the course of this time structure. So be aware of the truth and unity that are both connected, whether you have truth and unity within self or as a community or a society. They all go hand in hand. So therefore, the antichrist, aka the anti-good, the anti-you, are always used to confuse, divide, and conquer you. So if you say you're black, another one person says you're white. Automatically, without any further understanding, you claim yourself to be black when that's a single thing, when you're so much more than that single thing. Second of all, you're not black. And then another one says you're white. Now, had you said you were black and another person said they were pink, then, at least you wouldn't say, oh, they're trying to divide everything. But when you have two direct poles, different poles, and then you're trying to say that person is a pole when that person is not, it's a living being, and our makeup is so much more than that. And then when you're using lies to describe that individual, you're left with nothing but deception and self-hatred because you have no idea what's going on, so you're living in this fallacy of confusion. And that's what makes you and your people or your family deteriorate and have self-hatred. So if you say love, they may be indeed saying hate. So there are these two opposing systems as opposed to one truth and a lie being a void. So people use this often, and sometimes they use a multiple of voids just to confuse the matter more. So above is the truth of the singularity, and opposed to the deception of the below, which is divided and confused, and can further confusion into more confusion. So it is the ununity. And so what you're left with is either truth or lies, in both the, one up, one down. For the negative people only wish to confuse you and keep you ignorant so they can divide and conquer, which leads to division and war from here or from there, and time is a process. You'll have a person win a war, then lose a war, then win a war, then lose a war, and war never ends because war is a structure. And the people who stay on top is not the people that are divided or in a war, but it's the people who know the rule. So they continue to stay on top because the system is made for all the wealth to funnel into your vats, into that person's vats, because you lack this understanding. You get this either ignorant rule or ignorant logic, as opposed to the flawless rule and logic. So it splinters and splits, the negative does, in order to not unify, as opposed to unifying the benefits, which benefits the all. So, these are all stories. So if I say left, the negative person will say right, although the truth is left. I mean, just explaining something like if I say, oh, your car is on the left, and it was on the left, it is on the left. But they'll come around, and someone else will come around and say, oh, that's where they steal the seed. I said, no, it's to the right. Someone else will come and say, no, your car's in the basement or over there somewhere else, And so everything that has existed, there is a truth. But then with that truth, the evil comes and takes away the seed, and then he throws in lies. So you have all these divisions upon divisions, and as opposed to a singularity of the truth of what is. So the ignorant person will continue to argue, as opposed to a logical person who won't argue because he knows the truth, and he uses his reasoning in order to differentiate between the two. So neither one can prove, I'll give you an example, neither one can prove the truth of something because it had occurred in the past. Now there are different evidences that can show you and lead you to the truth, but there are people that even if you have the truth, they still say, no, that's a lie. Just like you can have a film of somebody stealing something, and he'd be like, I didn't steal it. There it is. I saw you steal it. Not only that, I can tell you exactly where it is. So then they come up with lies and lies and lies, but none of his lies add up once you start seeing the series of what he's talking about. So now you're left to, so what am I believe? So somebody will be like, well, okay, the moon landing. So people say, yeah, the moon landing happened, whatever, back in this day and this time. And then some people say, nah, the moon landing is fake. Jesus had a wife? No, Jesus didn't have a wife. Jesus died? No, Jesus didn't die. Jesus had children? No, Jesus had no children. I haven't heard stories where, Jesus never existed.